All right, it's 5:11 on the ticket. We continue from Ace Hardware Ticketstock 2020. What a great crowd we have. We're wrapping up what's been a fantastic weekend. We've still got a few more hours to go, though. One more hour worth of roundtables. And for the last hour here until 6 o'clock, we're going to get everybody up here. We've got Jake and Bob and Donovan and Dan and Norm, me. George will be back up here. Right now, I believe Corby and Gordo and Danny and Davey are doing the rant panel room. So who knows how long that'll go. But they'll be back up here with us momentarily. Also, for the next hour, joining us here on this roundtable, please welcome the godfather of the little ticket, Mike Rhyner, to the stage as he makes his triumphant return to Ticketstock 2020.
We never got our final hug.
There's not a dry eye in the house, let's all be honest.
I don't know.
Or dry anything else.
I got you.
Thank you.
20,000 plus here at the Plano Center welcoming the old Gray Wolf back. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hi, boys. Hi, Junes.
Good to have you here.
Hi, Norm. Hi, Great Gordo.
Hey, Mike.
George. Hi, Cobra. Hi, Dan, Donovan, Bob, Jake.
What's on Mike's mind today?
Yeah, you probably are so backed up in the things that you want to say.
Oh,
Go ahead.
God.
We'll just sit back and
Man.
Talk P22.
All right, first, Cowboys. What you got?
Okay.
What was it like?
Are they still going to play the season next year?
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
They are?
Yeah. It's been scheduled.
They didn't fold the franchise.
No. America's team did not fold.
Boy, you already sound high.
You doing?
Oh, you don't know how high I am.
So you couldn't do any shows without the old ballpark?
Without the old ball. What
Oh,
other
that's
ballpark?
right. You retired because they moved
They closed the
temple
ballpark.
Yeah, that's right.
You're like, I'm
They
not
did.
doing radio anymore.
That's right.
until they moved back.
It's gone, so am I.
So if they move back, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they move baseball back to the temple, then and only then will I come back.
We're going to see him at the new place with a Bic lighter on the corner.
Trying to torch it. So what have you been doing with your time, Mike? Have you been bored yet, or are you?
No, I haven't been bored yet. It's kind of weird because the form of this thing hasn't really taken shape yet. I'm still kind of in the unstructured, do what I want when I want mode. And right now that's pretty nice, but I just wonder how long that's going to last. We'll deal with that then, as a great man once said.
So what do you spend your day doing? Like, how is it different for you now?
Just kind of walking around my place and going from one corner to the next.
Taking inventory.
Yeah, just
What a
picking up stuff off the shelf and looking at it.
See,
Recreating the footsteps from the video, right?
I picture it's very similar to before, where you were poring over the internet and reading all sorts of baseball stuff, like in the morning. And then once like noon rolls around, instead of like going to lunch and then coming up to the station, you just go to lunch and then you just go do whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So how many
Go to
times
the
have you?
range, get something to eat.
Right.
So how many times have you gotten like 3/4 of the way to work and then go, oh crap, I'm going.
right.
What am I doing? God Almighty, I retired. And just
Want to know how many times that's happened? Try it. Not once.
really. You ever thought of just ending it all?
Put it this way. The gun is on the table. The chamber is loaded.
Man.
All it would take is spin, place, pull. Boom!
Hey, Mike.
He's retired. He can say that.
That's right.
You should do it out here.
Hey, I can say what I want. Screw all you guys.
Yeah, we'll promote it for next year's ticket stop. You do seem happy. Like when I saw the other night, you seem very happy.
That's George talking there.
Yeah, I'm George. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I remember you.
Yeah.
I know you.
Come closer.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good so far.
Yeah.
It really is all good so far. But we got a long way to go with this thing. I'm going to live forever, you know.
He really means that.
Yeah, he thinks that.
I do.
Good Lord, there's a lot of people here.
No. They're here to see Mike.
Yeah, look at this. All these people showed up for you, Mike.
Well, they're damn lucky I showed up for them.
Mike and I had a...
Hey, Mike.
Dwight.
I miss you.
Who's Dwight?
I miss you, man.
Mike and I had a mutual friend that had an accident one time, and
That is really funny.
Jeez. What?
He's dead.
no. That we went to visit, and we weren't sure if he was going to remember us. It's a long time. This is years and years ago.
Audrey?
And we walk in, and we're like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And he looks at Mike, and he goes, "I don't know you." And then he looked at me, and he goes, "But I know you." Anyway, that's a sports story I want to tell
That's a good one.
So, Mike, what was it like yesterday to wake up on a Ticketstock Friday and for the first time knowing you were retired and you weren't required to be at Ticketstock or you weren't going to have to be here at a certain time or sit on a certain round table? Was it weird?
Yeah, that was weird. That was a little bit weird. I mean, I've been at all the rest of them, and there was a part of me that said, okay, it's Ticketstock, let's go.
Duh.
Yeah, duh. But then the reality of it kicks in, and you're just going, oh, wait a minute, that was then. This is now. You don't have to do anything.
I do want you to be at Summer Bash, though,
Where's
like
that
kind
pistol?
of at the back of the crowd with a tank top on, because you love Summer Bash. It's time to celebrate the scantily clad and all that, you know?
Of course.
Just kind of hanging out, but you got a little umbrella and a tank top and your bottle of Jägermeister, and just kind of nipping at it a little bit.
Just kind of sitting there at the back all by myself.
You're right.
Maybe reading a book or something like that under the umbrella.
Right.
With his Jaeger and Ensure.
You're not being aloof out here, are you, Rhynes, when you came out here to Ticketstock?
I don't think so.
Okay. You dropped by a booth?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to look. I know the drill.
Yeah.
You know, don't be aloof. Visit a booth before you say goodbye to that sweet bird of youth.
Mike, has there been a moment where you missed being on the air?
There
That's going.
have been.
And as a follow-up, will you kill me?
There have been several of those because there have been several big sports stories that have come down the pike that I really would have liked to have weighed in on.
Like?
Well, here's your platform, buddy. Let's go.
We would like to give you the
Start
floor.
ripping people.
Astros cheating.
Yeah, that's one. What do you think about that?
You can't throw it to calls right away.
Hey, 787-1310.
No, we're not taking calls.
Why not? Why can't we ever take calls anymore?
Anymore.
So have you listened to the ticket?
Sure.
Do you
You
listen?
bet.
Do you listen a lot still?
Yeah, it's in the rotation of stations that I listen to for sure.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
We're in the rotation.
See,
In the
I've wondered if I ever retired. I almost feel like if I were listening, I would miss it more. Like I would feel like I should be up there, or wanted to be up there. Have you had that emotion?
Yeah, there's a part of me that when I do listen to it says, man, you should be there. You need this. They need you. You're a part of this. They're part of you. This is not right. This violates the natural order of things.
But isn't it a very freeing thing? Like, I think if I was done, I would listen. And because a lot of times when I do listen to any of you guys, and I think, oh, man, I wish I would have thought of that, or I wish I could have done that, or whatever. If you're just listening to listen, it's a lot more relaxing.
Right.
You know? I mean, I love listening to it. That's the thing. Like, if that app is still around in 20 years, I'm still going to be listening wherever I am, probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, the main thing that I'm reminded of over and over again when I do listen to it is just what great radio comes out of those speakers when the station is on the ticket.
Oh.
It's always been that way. It will always be that way. Me being there or not being there, notwithstanding, you guys don't know how good you have it here. You don't know how lucky you are.
Oh,
I think you're right.
thanks, Mike.
And that's why it's one of the 10 stations that are still in my rotation.
Satellite or otherwise.
Just about everybody.
We got to have a little variety in there.
Sure.
Man, see, you had me convinced that night at the compound that you were going to retire then. That was like 6-7 years ago, wasn't it? Or 8 years ago.
How did that go?
I changed my mind the next day.
That was drunk Mike talking.
You had us, we were in May, I guess, and you said by next January. Those are the terms that is being talked about by just about everyone.
You know when that was? That was, we were being courted. If we may pull back the curtain a little bit.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, here we go.
This is non-disclosure.
No.
Oh.
We just thought that things weren't going in a positive direction from the people that ran the station, that tried to run the station into the ground from Atlanta.
You mean the people that kept writing themselves gigantic every year
we don't
bonuses?
have to
Yeah.
talk.
Why not?
This is
Why
great.
not?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
dude.
Norm.
These guys are the biggest a-holes in the
Hey!
world. They were.
They could buy us again tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Deal with that then.
I never noticed that.
Oh, no.
I always thought they were great.
No.
Yeah, me too.
So, the brilliance of you leaving, your Easter eggs on the final day.
Yeah.
None of us knew. We all went on vacation for 3 or 4 weeks, and not until you announced your retirement did then the sleuths, the P1s, went back, Reddit or Facebook or whatever, and were like, "Hey, see his final playlist." Although I think somebody also pulled out your daughter's Twitter, like she knew it right away.
Yeah.
She told us all, but we didn't read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the songs were Sayonara, Go F Yourself.
Yeah.
Just goodbye songs.
Go ass in your hat.
Right? Suck it P1s. We never got it.
How much thought did you give that?
I was just pulling songs on the fly that had to do with that day.
Just that day?
Yeah, that day.
And you knew that day?
Oh, yeah. I knew that day. I knew that day that was going to be my last show.
Did you? Because others were trying to analyze something you said on Why Today Doesn't Suck, but you always say dark things about this is at the end, and,
Sure.
and we're not going to see next year and all that. Were you leaving any clues in there, or no?
I don't know. Probably not, though I might have been.
But you definitely left one at the end of your show.
Yeah.
What did you say then?
Said I'm off into the wild blue yonder or something like that, or into the great wide open or something.
See you in hell.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys could take this radio station and shove it up your ass.
Man, what's he mean by that?
But Corby, you didn't know?
Have a great holiday.
No, because
You had no feeling?
No, because we do this stuff all. I swear to God, for the last 15 years, whenever any of us go on vacation, it's like we might come back, we might not.
Yeah.
Like that's a bit. We'll see you in March or something like that.
Because you immediately stopped him when he started saying that, and you said, "Oh, that's right. You're not coming back because you had a few more days."
Yeah.
So it went straight over your head. But it was something different that he said at any sign out, whether it's at the end of the year vacation or every day.
Yeah, but I didn't pick that up. I'm not smart in that way. No, I did not. No, nobody. He pulled one over on all of us. It was brilliant.
Plus, you hadn't been listening to him for 3-4 years anyway, so you just kind of kept...
Yeah, that's right. He was like a paper towel roll with a headset on.
Norm just got it.
He just got it.
Norm.
Oh, that's right.
But that is our bit. Whenever someone's gone, whether it's a day or a week or whatever, we set a full paper towel roll in their spot and just put a little headset on it. You're like, there you go.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's take it from that moment, from when you signed off last show, second week of December, and let's talk about the 3 weeks there in the middle until it was actually announced on the station. We'll do that next when this roundtable continues from Ace Hardware Ticketstock 2020.
Herpes.
5:30 on the ticket. The roundtable continues here from Ace Hardware Ticketstock 2020.
Mike left again.
Everybody left. Boy, everybody bugs out, don't they, when
Yeah,
we've got
they
a
do.
5-minute break. We've got the entire ticket staff up here, and we're visiting with the old Grey Wolf, the godfather of the little ticket. Mike Rhyner makes his triumphant return to Ace Hardware Ticketstock 2020. Don't forget, we're going to do 30 more minutes of the round table, and then the ticket time wasters will take the stage as soon as we clear things out. Guys get their instruments tuned and set up, so it'll be maybe 20 minutes or so.
We're on the air, madam.
That takes. And then the time wasters will perform. And I believe, Mike, are you going to...
We're on the air, madam.
Are you going to perform as well with the time wasters, I understand? Oh, that's very exciting.
Yes, Donovan and I have a duet worked up.
That's very exciting.
I'm sorry, I was giving instructions to Dan. Yes, we do.
Things had stopped out over here.
We are going to perform tonight, and it may not be what you think, and it may be what you think.
Okay.
But I did have my Boone's form already. Maybe what you think. So, yes, we are performing tonight together.
Then I got another one on my own. So,
have you heard Donovan's outrageous claim?
What's that?
That he can drink 3 bottles of wine.
It's Boone's form.
Right, which makes it worse.
You know how much Boone's Farm I've had in my entire life?
Yeah, I can imagine how much Boone's Farm you've had. But
what is that?
What I would like to know is, why would you want to?
I was challenged, Mike. And when I'm challenged, I accept and I deliver. Every time.
You barely did the power hour. You limped to the finish line.
Donovan, there are some challenges you just got to walk away from.
But it's 3 hours. I get 3 hours for 3 bottles, and I think I can manage that.
By the way, Boone's Farm does not fall under the heading of wine.
Oh, yes, it does. It's the definition of wine, sir.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Anything you can get for $2.99 a bottle is the definition.
That's not wine.
Yeah,
I agree.
It kind of is.
It may be rock gut, but it's wine.
Okay, Mike, we were talking about your last show, second week of December.
Mm-hmm.
You go off into the Wild Blue Yonder.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't announced on the station until we all came back first week or so of January. So what were those 3 weeks like for you? How many people did you tell? What did you do for 3 weeks? Was it a weird feeling? I know you had to plan the video and the retirement speech and all of that.
Yeah. Well, the video was done the very next day.
The very next day.
The very next day, the video was done. And I wanted to, get it out of the way quick because I wanted to allow myself a little bit of margin for error. In case I had second thoughts about this. I mean, I was probably about 90% sure I didn't think I was going to, but, you never say never in this world. And I was going to allow myself a little bit of margin for error. So, okay, get that done. And then when the time comes, if you're going to go through with this thing, you're going to do what you're saying you're going to do and what you're so dug into up here that you're going to do, then you won't have to worry about throwing something together real fast. So I got that done first. Then the next day was the colonoscopy.
Oh.
Great.
Just flushed it all out of you, huh?
Was that planned or was it a surprise?
Oh, it's always. Have you ever had one?
I have, yes.
Okay, well, then you know how big of a surprise that is.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard the backstory of the video?
Of the colonoscopy video?
No, not the retirement video.
When does that drop?
I don't think I have.
That would truly be the backstory.
Whoa! The crowd loves that. That's 3-pointer, Norm. Swish.
That is mic drop, walk off, shoot the 3, turn your back before the ball's even halfway to the net. God,
man. That's Radio
that
Hall
is
of Fame.
Strong,
is what that is.
Man. But yeah, the retirement video was done the very next day. It was done late in the day, like about 5:30 or 6 or so, maybe later than that by the time we got finished with it. And I did it with a photographer from D Magazine, the one that did our photos in the bed. Elizabeth Lavin, remember her?
Oh, yeah.
That's her work.
Okay.
And Elizabeth Lavin is a real hard ass. And Jordan was there, and she was a hard ass about things, too. And it was not one take. There were about 6 or 7 takes. And each one was a little bit more discombobulated than the last one.
Will you ever release that?
Possible.
Yeah, would love to see
Possible. But that entire day, I had eaten nothing but Jell-O. That whole day.
Because of the colonoscopy.
Yes,
yeah.
and I can't stand Jell-O. I hate Jell-O so bad.
Mike.
But I've been, what?
What's wrong with Jell-O?
Everything.
Yeah, that's.
Want to go around the horn, Jake? Jell-O, yes or no?
No, thumbs down.
Donovan.
On Jell-O.
I am thumbs down.
Dan.
Up. Thumb up.
Norm.
Up. Thumb up.
Sideways. I don't care one way or the other. It's fine. It's not fine.
Corby, you've got the deciding thumb.
I haven't eaten Jell-O since I was 7, so down.
Oh,
Man.
Well, that's all I'd had that day. And it was all I could do to just force some of those Jell-O packs down and everything.
Was this the day you were constipated? What story are you telling?
I'm telling the story the day the video was shot.
Oh.
And
Nothing but Jell-O shots the whole day.
Yeah, I had to do it that way because I was in colonoscopy prep for the next day.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Mike, you don't eat the packet. You mix it with hot water and let it gel.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're a real a-hole. You have never, and I begged you, you've never invited me to your colonoscopies.
All right, number 3, you're on.
Okay, deal.
You're in the middle of a story.
So anyway.
Oh, well, anyway. Anyway, that lasted until about 7:30 that night, and then I had to start drinking that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't started that. If I would have started that, then it would have been, you know...
Like a stepbrother's fart?
Yes.
You got the whole video?
Yes,
Down the hall
the
quicker.
whole video. And I probably would have had to interrupt every take and go to the bathroom. So we didn't start it till then, but, man, it was a very, very chaotic day. Especially...
Hey, guys.
Hey, Kay.
Okay.
How are you?
It's exhausting.
Don't encourage me.
By the way, you should have...
about him, George.
You should have during that video, you should have it should have been like double screen, and in the top left-hand corner, it's a shot of your colonoscopy. Just to let people wonder, what is going on here?
What all they find in there? Find like a license plate?
Yeah. Knew that was coming.
A boot?
Grego.
It's like the ocean.
Grego.
There's a lot of toy pickup trucks and stuff.
Toy pickup. That may be real, Mike. Don't say
Actually,
that.
I think they did find a couple of long dead carcasses of hamsters, but that was about it.
Broken string.
About 12 shampoo bottles.
Right.
83 Fleer. Man. It's up there.
Genghis Bowl.
Right. The whole bowl.
So how many people knew from that,
This
from
is
the
fun.
colonoscopy? First baseman. So from the colonoscopy to the announcement, how many people knew, Ryan?
None.
Some
You and your
globe-like
dog.
dirt.
I didn't tell anybody else. Anybody that I hadn't told before. I only told people with a pretty firm need to know.
Rusty Greer's number.
Yeah.
Number. Y'all still going on that?
Yeah, they're still going on that.
Did you tell Dan Bennett?
Yeah, he knew. He knew. I told him before I went on vacation.
That he didn't understand.
No, I don't think he did.
Hey.
I don't think he got it.
What do you mean by that? Why would Dan not understand, Gordon?
Me?
Yeah,
What are
you.
you asking me
said it.
for? I don't know.
Because you're the one who said it.
Why would the general manager of 8 radio stations and an entire Houston market not
Right.
understand
Doesn't make any sense.
that someone is leaving?
Because of the way he communicates.
Dan, I have something to tell you. Let's just say there will be an ethereal disappearance of somewhat of an important note.
Okay, thanks.
Actually, I was very straight up with him. I told him I'm done.
Really?
Yeah. That was it.
And did they try to get you to stick around and do a weekend show or something like that? Like,
With Monty.
Rhines and Monty.
right. Wheelchair and soon to be wheelchair.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Dude.
What? Why can't I just do my job?
You're doing fine.
Monty's
you.
working hard to
Keep
get out of the
doing what you're
wheelchair,
doing.
okay?
Oh, well, you should have told me that.
Gosh.
We could pass it off like Dirk handing it over to.
But a couple things like that were thrown around, but I was not interested.
Okay, so during the 3 weeks, you said you allowed for some leeway in case you changed your mind. Were you ever close to changing your mind?
I was not. It never came close.
Not even during your last appearance on the ticket, which was at Normathon?
Nope.
Yeah,
not
we
even
saw
then.
you that day, and we had no idea.
Did you drop any hints that we missed?
Not that I recall. I don't think so.
We determined, though, that you're like 20 minutes on there saved 4 homeless people.
On the Normathon?
Yeah.
That's good.
May have.
That's just 4 less that are outside my apartment that I had to worry about.
Come on.
Well, that fastball still has some bite, let me tell you.
Yeah, that's 4 less that I have to ignore on the streets of downtown.
Okay.
Mike, just stop.
Hey, I have to credit him. He is my he's my leader as far as how to deal with situations and panhandlers in general. Because to be like, hey man, can you? And before they can even finish a sentence, it is no or negatory. They're like. Shock, their change falls out of a little coin thing.
Actually, I have a new way now.
Oh
my God!
Just don't make eye contact. You see, but you don't see.
This is
You
the
just
man.
walk on.
They're invisible to you.
Yes, they are.
This is the same.
That's a man who's grateful for his blessings right here.
As a downtowner, that's the way you got to play it.
This is the same man who, on every jury summons, to get out of it, he checks the mark or the box of can't read or write.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
still do that?
That's true. I do.
Yeah.
And I've never been called.
I do remember at the Normathon, you did drop a subtle hint, and when I think back about it, I should have caught it, but I didn't. And I remember it was during one of the commercial breaks, and you came up to me and you looked me in the eyes and you said, December 10th was my last show. I'm retired. And I didn't even catch it.
Didn't put it together.
I went right over my head.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I look back, and you were basically telling me.
Yeah, now you can tell.
Well, you know what? The biggest.
Well, I'm a master of subtlety like that.
The biggest real hint that you did drop was to Jake. Jake, what did he tell you?
I didn't put it all together, but you had texted me a week or so before the announcement was made and said, make sure whenever you're in Florida that you go see Orchids of Asia. And you remind everyone how close we are to where Robert Kraft got his rub and tug.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is Mike not going? It was very confusing to me.
Yeah.
So when I got there, the first thing I did was rent a car and drive to where Robert Kraft got a rub and tug before the AFC Championship game.
I knew you were going to have to be the spirit carrier for that.
It felt like a mandate from God. It was my trip to Mecca.
What if he was waiting there for you?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Mike's out front in a robe.
All done.
Did you miss this?
She's been working on me for 2 hours. No dice. It's not happening.
I'm headed back to the colonoscopy.
At least there I could finish.
Oh, my God.
And again, children, welcome to Ticketstock 2020, sponsored by Ace Hardware.
There's more truth to that than he knows.
Did you miss being at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I miss being at the Super Bowl. That sounded like a lot of fun.
It was a fun trip.
I let you down, though. I didn't smoke.
Yeah, we didn't smoke once.
Disappointing.
I know. I'll have to smoke somewhere else.
I think I have to be there for you to do that.
Probably so.
Who would like to see Corby smoke a cigarette up here on stage?
No smoking in this building.
Well, I think if it's part of a play or a performance, he can do it.
Yeah, didn't Poydras smoke?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Poydras, as she was pleasuring herself in front of the farmhouse.
Right. She pulled a magic cigarette out of there.
Okay, goodness.
Okay, don't laugh at that.
You see a puff of smoke under the apron?
Boy, that is high level there.
All right, we've got one more segment left on this roundtable with Mike, and you know what we're going to do on the next segment? We're going to put you on the interview horse, and you're going to take lightning round questions. That's coming up next at Ace Hardware Ticketstock 2020. All right, we got about 10 more minutes left here. Roundtables at Ace Hardware Ticketstock 2020, and then the ticket time wasters will take the stage as soon as we get everything switched out up here. We have some of the ticket hosts here with Mike Rhyner as we're visiting with Mike. He's made his triumphant return to Ticketstock.
Woo!
Joining us on these roundtables.
Junes, there are a lot of people backstage panic practicing.
Oh,
to get
really?
ready
That's
for
what
the
everybody's
time
doing.
wasters.
Okay.
So this is it.
All right.
Yes. But I think the people most confident in their abilities on stage are up here.
There you go.
Including one Mike Rhyner and Jake and Norm. Because Norm is the perfect performer. Because as soon as Ticketstock is over, he gets the hell up out of here.
Right, perfect.
You're always batting 1,000.
Mike, he's been a bit reluctant to ask this, but Jake wants to know you're gone for sure, right?
Yeah.
He's enjoyed his swim in Tier 1. He just doesn't want to get out the pool and dry himself off and go back down to Tier 3.
No.
That's why he's trying to make sure.
He can get out. He can dry himself off. He can hit the tanning bed. He can go to the range, get something to eat, come back, jump back in the pool. He can do whatever he wants.
You should have seen Jake the other day in Crosstalk when there was a producers meeting and Jake wasn't there.
Oh, was I not?
Well, that's when you know you made Tier 1.
Have the petty theft gigs picked up now that you've got a little bit more time?
Actually, we've only had one so far this year, but that's about to change in March. We got a lot scheduled then, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. See, I know the one we had was really big.
What about a world tour now that you've got all this time?
Yeah, I could do it.
See, I wanted to do a travel show. I want like Mike's web series of him in Shanghai.
Yeah, but then every time he leaves the city, he just walks off camera with his footsteps slowly.
Every episode.
Out of every city and every episode. That would be great.
You could review all the massage parlors and different stops.
Compare them to Orchids of Asia.
So, Mike, we all sit around and wonder, and I know it's probably a little more for you, about how...
If it comes to sitting around, it sure is.
of how retirement was going to go. And you all have the thoughts about how it's going to go. And then now it's here. And is it going exactly like you thought it was going to go, or is there something different about it?
I don't know. I had a pretty fuzzy vision about it. I don't know if I had a real clear picture of what it was going to be like. But what I would tell you and anybody else who may be pondering this, I think I already have told a couple this, don't fear it. Because I kind of did. I kind of feared it, but I reached a point where it became what I wanted to do anyway, despite the fact that I wasn't sure that I could, or that if I wanted to still, emotionally attached to this place to do it, and attached to this fabulous scene we've got here, which is not anything like anything any other radio station anywhere has. So I mean that. You don't get this type of level of investment anywhere from anything else. That is the absolute truth.
So if I can ask a question for Soroy, what time do you fire out of bed? What's your job?
Well, that depends on how things went the night before.
Hey, now. Yeah.
What time do you kick her out?
Get out.
Yeah, it's usually about the time that I open the door and the departure is made.
Cab fare.
The weird thing about it is I haven't been able to sleep since I've been doing this.
The Derek Jeter gift basket. Wait. You've never been able to sleep.
It's gotten worse.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Now I'm down to about probably 2.5 to 3 hours a night. And the funny thing is, I'm not tired the next day.
Man, that is just bizarre.
I mean, I fire up out of bed, I am ready to roll.
So you're telling me it doesn't get better?
It doesn't for me.
Did you really get up this morning at like 4, Bob? Did I see that right on Twitter?
Well, about 2:30, but we got back to sleep after 8.
Okay.
After 8?
Yeah, it was.
You're up for 5.5 hours?
Not because I want to be. I don't know.
What do you get up and walk around, or do you just sit there and stare at the ceiling?
I start reading because I don't know. Just laying here. I don't know.
Yeah, the man in the box just won't quiet down, will he?
The first 4 hours are really easy. And then it's potty time, maybe, bladder, 2 or 4 or 5, whenever it is, and then I'm just stuck. Now you're awake. Now what?
Yeah, for me, the first few hours are awful, but then somehow, some way, I drift off. I stay for about 2 or 3 hours. I wake up and I'm feeling pretty good, and I think, man, I must have slept for 6 or 7 hours. And then I wake up and find that I went to sleep about 3 hours ago. And I can't go back.
Like, I was in a full panic this morning because I only got 7 hours.
I hate you so much.
That sounds amazing.
I was like, man, I need that 8th hour. Like, I got to get it somewhere.
And
I hope you die, but you won't.
And
that's
so,
the problem.
So I had to go get a giant coffee to make up for that 8th hour that I missed.
God. You're the worst.
I can't imagine what that must be like.
Well, imagine being able to sleep on a floor that is basically like this for all 7 hours, and that's you just fall asleep.
Cannot relate.
Do you try sleeping medication?
I have. I don't like them.
Got a nice indica.
How about a little CBD?
I don't know. I've never done that one. I've done CBD. Doesn't work. I've done it all.
Try the real stuff.
Okay.
I'll hook you up.
Hook me up.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not tired, then maybe that's just what your body needs is 3 hours.
I mean, I'm coming around to that idea.
I think that's possible.
It must be.
Herschel Walker only slept 3 hours a night.
Yeah, you know that.
Oh, he joins us right now. It's Herschel.
So you have all this time,
3 hours a night,
but nothing to do.
Yeah, all this time and nothing to do.
Stratomatic?
No, I don't like Stratomatic much anymore.
Man, you need to start playing fantasy baseball.
Pickup sticks?
I like that.
Jacks?
Norm, are you playing fantasy
Ball in a
baseball
cup.
again?
Oh, you bet.
Have you had your draft?
Next week.
Next week. Now, your winner in your league gets like $40,000, right?
No, it doesn't get nearly that much. But the winner,
It's in the heavy thousands.
no, yeah, it's
5 figs.
I think maybe 11 or 12,000.
Bob and Dan, you guys never won, did you?
I've taken second several times. I can't get over the top.
But you got money, right?
We've
Points.
broken even.
Okay.
We've done okay.
Who's your sleeper this year, Norm?
As far as player,
Yeah.
Sleeper in a 1 million-person baseball league?
maybe Corey Kluber. Because the injuries to Corey Kluber last year were freakish. They weren't anything that required some kind of giant
Yeah, they didn't have anything to do with his pitching arm or anything like that.
So your sleeper is a 2-time Cy Young.
Exactly right.
A little off the trail.
No one's ever heard of him.
A little
it's
birdie.
Corey Kluber.
Mike, were you as amused as I was that Norm initially thought Mike Miner had retired when it was Mike Rhyner? It's a true story.
Honest.
And was really upset by it.
How did this come down?
Donovan called him.
Donovan called. And he said, hey.
So sorry.
Are you sitting
Me?
down?
No, I said it the right way.
Said it the right way.
Norm was broadcasting from home, so he wasn't there for the announcement, and I didn't know if he knew or not. So I called him when I got home and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that Mike Rhyner retired. And Norm, I don't know if he was full asleep. I have no idea. But he just kind of said, what? And I said, Mike Rhyner retired. And he went, oh. And then I think that's when it clicked, and he started asking questions about, hey, do you think or whatnot or anything like that? And then the next day he admitted that he thought I called him to tell him that Mike Miner retired from the Rangers.
And when he told him it was Mike Rhyner, he had a sigh of relief.
Right.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He didn't want to pick up the
I
phone
thought it was going to be
and
important.
make a quick trade.
Still possible fantasy draft.
Right.
Still in the pool.
Right. Got that guy as a sleeper, too.
Well, what I couldn't figure out why I paused was I thought, I wonder why Donnie's calling me to tell me Mike Miner retired.
It's a good show, mate.
Very serious matter.
Yeah, that's That's what you wanted out of your partner, isn't it?
All right, we're being told by the ticket overlords that it's time to break and set up the stage for the time wasters. So, Mike, it's been great having you here. Would you
thank you.
Let's let Mike Rhyner throw it to our break and the ticket time wasters and wrap up this portion of Ticketstock.
Mike, count us down,
Please,
baby.
the floor
Count
is yours.
us down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're done.